Thank you, Dr. Heinecke, Dr. Hager, Regent Myers, and the esteemed administration and faculty of NAU for this honor. Amy and I are humbled and grateful. Congratulations to you, the class of 2014. I know the last thing you want on your commencement celebration is yet another lecture, so I know you've sat through enough. I'll try to make my remarks brief and hopefully of some value to you. So why are these two ordinary people, Amy and Paul Blavin, receiving honorary doctorate degrees from NAU, such an extraordinary honor? We didn't cure cancer, we didn't invent the iPad or iPhone, we don't hold a powerful public office, and you won't see our names on any buildings on this beautiful campus here at NAU. We are being honored today simply because we have chosen to help others, and it's really that simple. And that is why Amy and I have fallen in love with the faculty, administration, and students of NAU. NAU has a wonderful humanitarian spirit of helping others, and this is something that all of us lumberjacks can be extremely proud of. At NAU, Amy and I help young men and women who age out of the foster care system to receive a post-secondary education and hopefully the start to a better life. That is our philanthropic passion, and again, that's quite ordinary and simple. Unfortunately, our focus is not that typical. You see, there are close to 500,000 kids in our country who do not have the blessing of even one stable parent in their lives. These are kids who are often born into very difficult circumstances: abuse, neglect, abandonment, and abject poverty. This year, roughly 22,000 of these young men and women will age out of the foster care system at 18 years old. Of those kids, only 2 to 3% will end up earning a four-year degree, 2 to 3%. 500 kids nationwide out of 22,000. Only 50% will earn a high school degree or a GED. On the other hand, 20% will experience homelessness during one point or another in their lives. 25% will be incarcerated within 2 years of aging out of the foster care system. And half of the young women will be pregnant by the age of 19. Hardly the American dream. I don't bring these dismal statistics up to throw a damper on your celebration. I really don't. But rather, I bring these statistics up to highlight how remarkable our Blavin scholars here at NAU are, and how remarkable the NAU administration, faculty, and generous donors are to support our program. So why do Amy and I do what we do? I raise this question because when we were your age, we had little clue about philanthropy and serving others. Like many of you, we were focused on our careers. We respect that, and frankly, in order for you to succeed, you do need to focus on your careers. That is how you'll succeed. However, almost 30 years after my graduation, I'd like to share with you why we do what we do, with the hope that I can perhaps share our experience and save some of you valuable time so that you can realize, like we have, that helping those who need it the most and are least able to help themselves is the most rewarding pursuit imaginable. First, each of you almost certainly has had others in your lives that have helped you. There is little more valuable than the right words at the right time from the right person. Someone who cares about you, not because what they're going to extract from you, but because they simply care. Amy and I have been blessed to have angels like that in our lives, so we know how powerful this support can be. Second, when I was sitting in your seat 30 years ago, my fantasy of success was to become a business tycoon. Annie was my favorite play, and Oliver Warbucks was my idea of success. I studied the Forbes 400 list of the wealthiest people in our country. I was driven to reach that list. However, over time, I realized that there was almost zero correlation between the amount of money and stuff that I accumulated and my happiness. In time, I had the privilege of managing money for many of the wealthiest individuals in the world. I saw firsthand again that there is little correlation between their happiness and their wealth. Then I read Dave Pelzer's book, A Child Called It, the autobiographical account of Dave's horrifically abusive childhood. When Dave said that the happiest day of his life was when the police came to his elementary school, removed him from class, and said he never had to go home again, I was floored. That was the happiest day of his life. 11 years old. The very next day, I read a story in the Arizona Republic about an 8-year-old boy who had been locked in a closet for months on end by his mentally ill mother. He had never met his father. At the end, it said he was being placed in foster care, and if you want to help these kids in foster care, call this number. I called that number. That was the beginning of a joyous 12-year journey that brings Amy and I here today. Over those 12 years, we have seen firsthand that serving others is the most rewarding thing we can do in our lives. Serving others has brought us indescribable joy and fulfillment. And I'm going to share a little secret with you now today. The more we give, the more we get back. Sometimes we feel like we can't keep up with all the good fortune that comes our way as a result of our giving. I'm serious about that. A cycle of success and happiness, all the while helping those who need it the most and are least able to help themselves. Who would have thought? So now is my lecture part. It's one sentence. Keep your hearts open for opportunities to help others. It took me decades from my graduation to discover the power and joy of this one simple principle. All it takes is a little love, and it will come back to you many, many times over. Congratulations, my fellow lumberjacks.